Hey lovelies, for this practice, you will need 2 yoga blocks or a long yoga bolster, or you can also use 2 textbooks or encyclopedias. Whatever you have that is quite thick and a hardcover will also work as well for yoga blocks. So we'll begin in fish pose. So laying down on the back, taking your 2 blocks here and placing the first block vertically, second block horizontally for the head, and you will be laying on the vertical block to open the shoulder blades, so it should be sitting right where your bra strap or sports bra would be laying, and then the horizontal for support of the head. Allowing the shoulders to roll down and back. Knees can stay bent, or you can also begin to lay them out. Just see which way feels good for you. Sometimes there can be a strain on the low back. We don't want any straining here. Just a gentle opening of the heart. And if you're like me and have a kitty, well, you can have a bit more support to open the chest if it likes laying with you. Just taking a few deep breaths here, closing the eyes. Allowing that chin to lift up a little bit to the sky. Get a little bit of a throat opening as well. Palms can be facing up to gather new energy into the body. This practice, we're going to move through some yin yoga practice. So yin yoga is to open the fascia tissues and offer a release to any past memories, any tension, any stagnancy that is no longer serving us. So we hold these poses for about 3 to 5 minutes just to go deeper into the tissues. So we don't need to get to our edge right away, but just allow yourself to fall into it, allow gravity to do the work, and just move consciously with the breath if needed. Bringing in that new vital life force energy, that chi into the body. And connecting to that ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. This can help calm the nervous system here. So we will be practicing about 20 minutes of the yin yoga, and then the last 20 minutes is going to be kundalini yoga. Both of these practices are an embodiment to that female, feminine, divine energy. Just that this yin yoga is more of a gentle, very nurturing energy. And within the kundalini practice, we connect to the Shakti energy. That is the fierceful feminine energy that lays dormant many times, many days, sitting at the base of the spine. So as we move through some spinal movements, this helps wake up and release that Shakti energy, that creative flow, those thoughts of manifestation, opening the channel for our abundance to flow, that birthright of prosperity to flow through the bodies, through such a flowing and embodying feminine energy. Three more breaths here. Facing the palms down to the ground now, taking a few moments here to draw those hands in closer to the body with the elbows, and then contracting the core and just pushing yourself up into the elbows here, lifting that spine and removing those blocks from beneath. Then we'll just come to fall back into Shavasana for one moment, just allowing the spine to come back to neutral. You'll begin to draw the soles of the feet up to the mat with the knees together. And placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the stomach. Just taking a moment here to fall back into the breath. Harnessing down that pelvis for a neutral and straight spine, so the entire spine is touching the earth, connected to that earth and anchoring here. Taking one deep breath in through the nose. As we sigh out, we drop those knees to either side, allowing the soles of the feet to now touch. And allowing those hips to open, those knees to fall away from one another. If you can't go too deep right away, that's okay. Just begin to feel into it. And with every exhale, begin to bring that attention to those hip flexors, the knees, and draw that breath down into that space to allow a bit more space to flow through the legs to open a bit deeper. Sometimes we have resistance into this space because we hold so much trauma within our hips as women. So this practice is going to be all about opening our heart, allowing that abundance to move through the heart as we become a bit more vulnerable with ourselves this week. And moving through some poses that are a bit more vulnerable for the body to be holding. Just becoming a bit more aware, a bit more connected to our raw, true self. Allowing emotions to flow if they come up as we release some blockages from that heart center. As we move through this pose here, this reclined cobblers, reclined butterfly, we are sharing and offering that action, that symbolism to the universe that we are open to receiving. Tucking the chin a little bit into the chest to just open that spine, extending the spine a little bit here. This gets too much for you, you can always bring the knees back together to meet at center, and then just allow the soles to be stepped mat width apart from one another. If this doesn't feel good in the body, there's always modifications. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of support to allow these tissues to release a bit deeper, you can always bring those two blocks beneath the thighs for a bit of support for those thighs. Bringing both hands now down to that low belly, making a triangle into that low belly for the index fingers to be pointing down And then the thumbs to be together just below the navel, allowing that open triangle space to connect to that space with your breath. Breathing in, moving that breath down into that space, filling up that womb area here. And sighing it out. Just connecting a little bit deeper to that abundant space, the spaciousness that we carry within the body here. Gliding the hands down the legs to come to the outside of the thighs. And on the inhale, we'll draw our knees up with the help of our hands. And on the exhale, we can just begin to windshield wiper our legs from left to right. Just giving that low back release here. When you're ready, just rolling over to whatever side feels comfortable for you. Just connecting with the earth here for one moment. And then finding a tabletop position on the mat. Wrist below shoulder, shoulder width apart. Knees below hips, hip width apart. I'll just move through some cat-cows here. So inhaling, lifting the crown of the head and the hips to the sky. And exhaling, rounding the back here. Bringing the chin into the chest. Just moving through a few of these at 5 breaths. Putting some of our weight into the hands here, we will allow our legs to slide back to extend down onto the mat and bringing the torso down onto the mat. Palms are just on our sides here by the ribs with our elbows tucked in close to the body. And as we inhale, we will slowly lift the torso just a little bit here to create a back bend. Allowing those collarbones to open up, rolling the shoulders down and back, keeping that chin parallel to the spine for baby cobra. Glutes are engaged. Tops of feet are anchoring into the mat. Just connecting with your breath here. Giving a gentle opening to that heart center. One more inhale. And exhale, dropping that chest down to the mat. Elbows now come onto the mat, taking the place of where the palms last were. So the palms come a little bit more up to in line with our ears here. Pressing those forearms into the mat on the inhale, we lift up once again, putting more weight into our forearms and our palms. If this doesn't feel right for you, that's fine. Just come back to that baby cobra. You can even play around here and just maybe wiggle your arms up the mat for the elbows just to come a little bit further away from the body, and that will help guide your chest up a little bit more to the sky, shining that heart center. Checking in with the feet, making sure they are still grounded into the mat. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can always put all of your weight into the palms here, and the palms should be just about mat width apart here. And you can press into the palms and lift up the elbows, coming into seal pose. And this just takes some of the weight off of the elbows, opens up those collarbones a little bit more, a little bit better. Just moving very slowly. You can always come back down, just moving slowly and with the breath. One more inhale, deep inhale, allowing those collarbones to roll back, the shoulder blades to roll back. Next exhale, just slowly guiding that torso down, one vertebrae at a time. Elbows can fall out to mat width apart, with the hands stacked on the earth, with the forehead onto the hands. Maybe just rolling the head out a little bit here, giving the third eye a little massage. You can also windshield wipe your legs here by lifting them up with the bent knee and just moving them left to right here. Placing the legs back down, arms coming out into a T position here. Just moving, turning your head to the left side. I have to come off my head a little bit. Alrighty. So right ear is on the mat, looking over to the left hand side here. Just connecting with the breath for a moment. And when you're ready on the inhale, just beginning to turn on to that right side here, allowing that shoulder to stay anchored on the earth. Palms are grounded into the earth. Top leg can be stacked on top of the other leg. You can also bring the top leg with a bent knee and stamping that foot just behind. If you need to do any adjustments here, always come back onto your back first. You can also stamp your leg in front, whatever feels best within the body. If you want to roll over a little bit more, you can bring that left hand behind for the elbow to be bent. And that's just helping open up that other shoulder as well. This is really good sitting at a desk all day, hunched over. It's really opening up those collarbones, giving some shoulder mobility here as well. Just be sure that you are grounded and rooted here, making sure that you're really paying attention to that core. If left hand is behind you, just bring that back with the palm onto the earth, into that T shape once again. Then just slowly roll back over onto the belly. Just taking a moment here to move your head to look over to the right side, left ear's on the mat. Just wiggling out those hips a little bit here. Really pressing into that left palm now, as well as the right palm, as we guide ourselves to roll over onto the left side. Once again, your top leg, that right leg can be stacked on top. It can come to the back, stamping the back foot onto the floor. And right hand can also come behind the body if that feels okay as well. You're probably a bit more open on one side. That's okay, that's normal. Just really feeling into the breath here, bringing your consciousness to that heart center, those collarbones with every breath, trying to roll that heart open a little bit more. Hand can always come back down at any time, that right hand. If that top leg is bent, just bringing it back to stack on top of that bottom leg. Just allow yourself to roll back over onto the belly. Bring that third eye back to the mat, maybe just rolling the neck out a little bit here. Hands come into the body, just in line with the shoulders here. We'll tuck the back toes and allow ourselves to come back up into that tabletop position. Knees come mat width apart, big toes are touching and guiding the glutes, the hips back to meet the heels. And those arms can just be guided to the top of the mat, with the forehead can either be supported by your block, a blanket, or it can be placed right down onto the mat here. If this doesn't feel right in the body, you can always come into a closed knee child's pose. So the knees are touching at the back of the mat with the hands to come alongside of you to meet at the heels. You're just getting more of a rounding in the spine with the closed knee child's pose, where this is helping open up that heart center. Open up those hips. And just beginning to get some activation through that spine to move into the kundalini portion of our practice. Sending that breath down into the hips. Maybe you can sit a little bit deeper. Next inhale, guiding the hips back up. Bring our hands a little bit closer into the body here. We'll just begin some hip rotations. So as we inhale, we guide the chest forward, making big hip circles, and on the exhale, we allow our hips to move back into that child's pose position. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, just slowly bringing some more movement into the body here. Three more rotations this way. Still connecting to that breath in and out through the nose. And on the exhale, just push the hips back into that child's pose position for one moment. And then on the inhale, guiding the hips the other way. For this kundalini portion, we want to keep our eyes closed as much as possible, so feel free to open them if you need to watch my guide for a moment, and just try to come back into your own body and move through these motions, these movements, while bringing your attention to that third eye center. Next exhale allows the hips to fall back into that child's pose. Taking one more moment here, maybe guiding the hands back up to the top of the mat. Walking the hands closer to the body for the spine to come up and to be seated onto the knees, bringing the knees together. Hands are on our laps, and on the inhale, we'll guide our chest open and falling down onto our lap, one vertebrae at a time. And on the inhale, guiding our spine back up through a rounding of the spine, and on the exhale, coming down, allowing that chest to fall onto the lap here, and inhaling, guiding that spine back up just like a serpent. Beginning to embodying that Shakti, that feminine serpent energy. Next inhale guides the spine to neutral. Coming now to stand on our knees. We will place our hands onto each shoulder, just like so. And on the inhale, we will be moving our body to the left side, and on the exhale, guiding the top of the body over to the right side. So keeping those glutes engaged, keeping those feet planted, the tops of the feet planted, and always going through those nostril breaths, in and out through the nose. We inhale, guiding the torso to twist to the left, and exhale over to the right. We'll do this 26 times here at your own breath. On the inhale, straight spine, neutral spine, really breathing in that breath. And exhaling, letting it go. Now bringing the bum to be seated on the floor and extending both legs out to each side, the left and the right side. Taking a moment to connect with the breath here as we begin to move into some side angle openers, helping to open each area of the heart. So we will begin to grab the inside of our big toe with our index and middle finger, if you can reach it while allowing those shoulders to open. If not, you can always just place your hand down onto your ankle or wherever it falls that is comfortable for you. You just want to be sure that you are allowing a little bit of a stretch here. So on the inhale, we guide our left arm to open to about a 45-degree angle up to the sky. And on the exhale, we drop that hand in to meet our right hand. And inhale, open, exhaling, closed. Moving through this 26 times at your own pace. When you're finished inhaling, guiding the torso back up to center. And sighing out. Coming into position for the left side. That left hand comes to meet the big toe or onto the ankle, whatever feels comfortable for you. And opening that right hand, opening that up 45 degrees up to the sky. And exhaling, we folding to meet our other hand. 26 times at your own pace. Last inhale guides you up to center. And exhaling, release. Just taking a few moments here to watch the breath. dipping those legs together, allowing them to extend out straight onto the mat. Sitting up straight, beginning to engage that core here. Placing our arms out in front of us. Palms are facing inwards towards one another. And on the inhale, we will gently allow our back to fall back into space. And exhale, pulling ourselves back up. Still with a straight spine here. We don't want to be curving the spine too much in this exercise. So as we inhale back, we'll be guided back into space, keeping that core tight, and exhaling, just allowing those arms to pull forward, kind of like someone has some strings onto your hands, the tips of your fingers, and you're just moving in that motion back and forth. Moving through this 26 times at your own pace. Your arms are going to get tired, your arms are going to get sore, that's okay. Keep up and you'll be kept up with your movement, with your energy. Last one, when you're at 26, inhale backwards, holding that core. And exhale, just coming back up to neutral. Allowing these feelings to drop into the body. Gonna get moving one last time here. And coming into a downward facing dog position, however you feel called to move into that. Pressing those palms into the mat, tucking the back toes and lifting the hips up into space. Just taking a moment to explore the space here, pedaling out the toes if necessary. And we'll be moving once again with our breath. So coming back into a neutral downward dog, and on the inhale, we'll come into that plank position, but opening up our chest for a back bend. Coming into up dog and exhaling back into down dog. Just doing that for a few moments, really slowly, just exploring that movement. Inhaling up, chest is lifted, toes are still tucked, knees are off the ground, and exhaling back up. Core is strong. Engaging the glutes when you are in that up dog position. Really allowing that flow of the chi to come in here. Take two more here. Just meeting back into that down dog position. Just flushing out whatever is necessary here. Few breaths. And coming to sit down onto the knees. Hands come back to the lap. Closing the eyes, just feeling that new energy coming into the body. Taking a moment to give gratitude to the kundalini energy, to the teachers that come before and after us, bringing our hands into prayer position at our heart space. Reciting a mantra just once here, Sat Nam. Breathing in, we'll do a release exhale first. Sayada. Breathing in. Sat Nam. Coming down onto your backs here. Coming down into Shavasana. Bringing that attention, that breath into the heart, and just starting to connect here, how the heart is pumping. Giving gratitude for yourself for showing up today, and giving that gratitude, that energy out to maybe someone who needs it today. Keeping the palms up to the sky, just to receive any last energy that wants to be channeled through the body here. Once you feel connected back to the body, back to the heart, I'll invite you to close your practice whatever way possible, but stay in this shape for as long as needed. Gratitude to the fire element for being with us today. Gratitude to all of the energies that were here with us today that was necessary to feel into our own bodies. Sat Nam.